They had never heard of it. Most people probably never have unless you've actually experienced it, and it's kind of weird. Hey everybody, it's Maddie here. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you are new here. If you're not, then you might have been expecting a nail video, but as you can see from the title, I have a little update to give you about being pregnant. This is all about my first trimester. I'm just gonna be like documenting a lot of more personal stuff that I'm not used to sharing on my channel, but yeah, it's gonna be some new type of content here on this channel. Also just hoping to share my experience with you guys, and maybe it can help somebody out, because I personally love watching these types of videos, all types of pregnancy content, and I think it's very helpful and like motivating and stuff. So maybe this will help somebody out there, and I hope you guys enjoy this new type of content. And let's get right to the video. So the first thing I wanted to start by saying was that I wasn't necessarily like planning to get pregnant, but I was off of birth control for about a year when I actually got pregnant. So I guess you could say like it didn't really come as a surprise, like when I found out that I was pregnant, but I definitely wasn't like trying or like planning for it. So it was kind of surprising when I found out. The day I found out was on January the 13th of 2021. So the symptoms that I experienced in my first trimester, by the way, I am 13 weeks pregnant right now when I'm filming this video, so I'm pretty much at the end of the first trimester. So this is me looking back on everything that happened. So like I said, on January the 13th, my dog is ruining the audio, I'm so sorry. Anyways, like I said, the day that I found out was January the 13th. That was the day I decided to take a pregnancy test, and that was because I woke up that morning and immediately got sick, like first thing straight out of the bed. And that was when the morning sickness started for me. And if you know, then you know that it's not just morning sickness, it is all throughout the day. And a lot of the times it was just nausea. Like that happens very frequently. Like even if you're not actually throwing up, like you might just feel nauseous. Like, and that is one of the worst feelings ever, like for most people, I think you could say. Like it really sucks. So that was the very first symptom for me that like I knew that I was pregnant after that happened. And also an early sign was that my boobs were very tender. Like around that time of the cycle, when, you know, I was thinking like, oh, like I haven't got my period, like it's around that time, maybe I should take a test. Like that was something that I was also feeling. That wasn't like a huge sign, because it literally just felt like I was about to get my period. Also the tiredness. I was so tired, like sleeping more than half of the day, like going to bed at like 6 o'clock, sometimes 7 o'clock, having no energy at all. Like the tiredness is so real. Like that was a huge symptom that I experienced. And like just like mood swings in general, like I just didn't really feel like myself. Like that was another sign for me that looking back, that I could see that was why. But yeah, I was just like, just didn't feel like myself. Like something felt off, like in my body. And if maybe it's like, if you're intuitive, then you can tell like different feelings in your body. But it just felt like something was changing. And maybe it was just because like I had no energy. I was like getting sick. So yeah, that will definitely, it's definitely like a mood changer, like in those early weeks of pregnancy. And that did go away, like maybe once that I figured out like what was going on, and like, you know, you have like a purpose behind the sickness. It really does make a difference on how you're feeling, in a way. So yeah, another little backstory. So I found out that I was pregnant on January the 13th, and I had my first doctor's appointment on, I believe, like the 21st or something like that. So like a few weeks later, and at that appointment, they put me at 7 weeks pregnant. So going backwards to December, that was when my last period was, which was really light and irregular, which wasn't necessarily too abnormal for me. But yeah, that was around the time that I actually conceived or whatever. So on Christmas Eve, December 24th, I was very sick, like all day long, like starting from, you know, first thing in the morning. And, you know, I had no idea if anything was going on. I literally just thought that I had the flu, because, like, I was throwing up everything I ate, and I just, like, wanted to sleep all day. My body didn't feel right. Like, maybe it was just from, like, my immune system being compromised, and I did get the flu, or it was just a very early, like, symptom or whatever. So now I'm gonna talk about some of the foods that I was eating in my early pregnancy, and some things that might help you out with, you know, being sick and stuff. But mainly in those first few weeks while I was pretty sick every day, like carbs were my best friend. That was like mainly the only thing I was eating. Like noodles, whether it's like pasta or ramen noodles, any kind of noodles, I would eat that mainly almost every day. And I think rice was pretty good sometimes, as long as it was like plain and just like didn't really have much on it. And I think I ate like muffins for breakfast a lot, and like maybe some donuts here and there. But stuff like that really helped me. Like it was just like something to really fill my stomach up, and like, you know, just like soak up all the whatever's in there, you know. It just made me feel better, and that's what worked for me. I definitely wasn't really like eating super healthy or anything. Like I still wouldn't consider my diet like super healthy now. I don't eat like super bad. Like I eat fast food here and there, like, you know, like I'm still eating kind of like I was before, you know, just not eating what, you know, you really can't eat, which is a few certain things. I'm sorry, I'm getting out of breath just because I'm not used to talking this much. Anyways, yeah, so now I was starting to get back to like eating normal and feeling more normal, probably around like 11 to 12 weeks. And but there were some foods in the beginning that like just really I just knew that I didn't want at all, like things that I definitely would have ate before, like just like a lot of fried foods, like things that were like way too greasy, just like didn't sound good. And like Chick-fil-A for one. Like every time I would eat Chick-fil-A, I would get sick. And that was like, you know, pretty upsetting because I liked it, but it just wasn't agreeing with my body. But I didn't really have any like super bad aversions or even cravings or anything at that point. It's just like when something sounds good and like you want something, or like you think of something in your mind, like you really want that thing, like you almost have to have it. Like, not like it's anything specific, but it's just like, ooh, I need that right now. So I was kind of like that beforehand, but not like to the point like where it is like you're pregnant, like you won't stop thinking about that specific food until you eat it. Another thing that I didn't like in my early pregnancy was like I wasn't much of a coffee drinker beforehand, but I did get like an iced chai latte every morning, which is, you know, pretty equivalent to like a coffee latte or whatever. But that just really didn't sound good or like agree with me at all. Like it just wasn't the same anymore. I don't know, like if you've been pregnant or have kids, you know, you might understand this. But yeah, now that I am at 13 weeks, I have been starting to drink coffee more, just for like energy purposes, I guess. Like I was just like trying to find ways to get my energy back up, and I guess it seemed to help. Like I like it, like it's a good taste or whatever. It's not like disagreeing with me or anything. So that is really it for the food and nutrition, I guess you could call it. Definitely take your vitamins, take extra vitamins if you need to, because this was another symptom that I experienced that's towards the end of the first trimester, and that is dizziness or passing out. I actually passed out like a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago. Like luckily my boyfriend was right there, so like I didn't hit the ground or like anything crazy. Like it was probably just from like a spike in my blood sugar or blood pressure or something like that, or it could have also been from low iron, and because of that my doctor decided to prescribe me an extra iron supplement. And then I didn't even realize after looking on my prenatal vitamin, it actually didn't have any iron in it, which is a pretty important mineral vitamin to be getting in, especially when you're pregnant. So I would definitely recommend at least checking your prenatal and make sure that has that in there, or take an extra iron supplement, or, you know, specifically eat foods that are high in iron, and that can help if you are experiencing a lot of dizziness or if you passed out or anything like that. So another thing I wanted to talk about was some things that you can do to manage some of the pregnancy symptoms that come with the first trimester. And first things first, like take your rest and just take a nap, because the tiredness is real, and you're tired for a reason, because your body is really working hard and it's gonna need that extra rest. And if you don't take it, you're really gonna be miserable. Like, you think you're miserable just being tired and sick, but if you don't give your body that rest, you're gonna be even more miserable. So another thing that can help some people is essential oils. This can help with a lot of things, like the nausea and even just like stress levels and lots of other things. I don't really use much essential oils, but I really want to get into that, so I'm going to start doing that soon. And something that I did do is get a massage, which is something I love to do, and it was just so great for like just the relaxation factor and like the resting and like the rejuvenation that it really does give your body. So I would really recommend getting a massage. Oh my gosh, I am so out of breath. Ooh. And then the last two things that I want to say about managing your symptoms and just trying to make yourself feel a little bit better is exercising and meditating. Like, you really don't have that much energy in the first trimester, those first weeks of pregnancy. So meditating is a really good thing that can help you with just your mindset and just, like, you know, dealing with all of the sickness and the symptoms and the changes that are going on. And exercise can really help with energy levels too, even, you know, if you may not have the energy to work out. Like, just doing a little movement and walking around, just getting up and staying up instead of just laying down is something that might really help you out now and in the long run. It's good to just, like, stay up and stay in a routine. And I wish that I could have done more. Like, this is where, you know, I shouldn't compare myself to anybody else, but now I'm really trying to work on, like, moving more, even meditating more, and doing more exercise, because, like, now that I'm out of the routine, it's, like, so much harder to get back into, you know, doing those things and building those habits. Say hi, Floyders. Anyways, so yeah, some of the other pregnancy symptoms that they don't really say much about, or you may not or you may be experiencing now, or that you will experience soon if you're in very early pregnancy or planning to get pregnant or trying to get pregnant or anything like that, is that you're gonna be peeing a lot, and you might even be waking up throughout the night to pee. And that means that your sleep probably isn't gonna be that good. And I definitely experienced that a lot in the first very early part of pregnancy. Like, when I first found out, that was, like, the first thing I noticed. Like, I was waking up at night, I just, like, couldn't sleep, and I don't know why that is, but that's something that they don't really say much about. And also vivid dreams. Like, I've heard a very little bit about this, and it's so true. Like, every single night I have a super crazy dream, and it's super vivid. Like, it doesn't even feel like I'm sleeping. It just feels like I'm going to another world when I close my eyes at night. And it's every single night. Like, it's cool, but sometimes it doesn't feel like you're getting very rested. So another thing that I feel that, I don't know if anybody else really relates too much, but I personally think that telling people that I'm pregnant is kind of awkward. I'm just, like, not used to saying those words, like, I'm pregnant. I'm just, like, not used to that. That feels weird to me. And also, there's just, like, so many questions that come along with it, and, like, people just, like, will give you their opinions and stuff, and it's just a little weird. I don't know if anyone feels the same way, but yeah. And this is another one that I've never, I did hear of from one person mentioning this online, but they said that they had never heard of it. Most people probably never have unless you've actually experienced it, and it's kind of weird out there. And I hope you've never experienced it or never do, but there's something called lightning crotch, and this mainly happens when you're pregnant, but I think that it can happen when you're not pregnant, because I feel like I've experienced this before pregnancy. I don't know if it's something with the muscles. They say it could be from, like, your uterus stretching or whatever, but it's just a zapping feeling in your vagina, or you could feel it, like, more deeper in your uterus. You could feel it, like, near your butthole, but it just feels like a little zap. Like, it usually just, like, lasts for, like, a second or a few seconds, and then it goes away pretty quickly. But it's so weird, and, like, there's really no explanation, and they really don't tell you that, so watch out for that. Anyways, okay. Next, I'm going to talk about mentally how I'm feeling about being pregnant. Just want to say, like, I'm super excited and, like, instinctually, like, I feel like, you know, I was meant to be a mom, and, like, I'm totally not ready. Like, nobody's ever ready to be a mom, but, like, I feel like ready to take on that responsibility. And I'm just happy for all the memories and, like, fun little loving moments and all the love that is gonna bring into my life. It's super exciting. It really is. And honestly, I had to refilm this video because I filmed it already once and I didn't feel like I looked that excited or was talking like that excited. So I just decided to refilm this video, and, like, that's where, again, I shouldn't compare myself to anybody else. Like, you don't have to be, like, super excited. And honestly, I'm gonna tell you, like, at this point it still doesn't even seem real. Like, you know, there's no belly, there's, you know, I don't even know, like, a gender or anything. Like, I don't have any names, we have no idea. Like, our house is not ready, and, like, it just doesn't seem real. And, like, there's also so much stress and, like, anxiety that comes along with this whole process, and just, like, you know, becoming a parent. It's scary, it's stressful, there's a lot to it. And as excited as I am, like, I'm just as scared and nervous and, you know, like, anxious, because it is, like, a very life-changing, transformative thing to go through for me and my body and my family. Just my whole life will be affected by this. And, like, that's also, like, a very exciting feeling for me. And, like, it's just, like, I don't know, I'm not, like, it's just very it really makes you accept where you're at, or, you know, now is really the time to accept where you're at and, like, build confidence for yourself and, like, really heal those parts of yourself that are scared and anxious, and just reflect on everything so that you can really feel ready and excited and prepared, you know, when your little baby does get here. And you can just, like, you know, like, you have this time, or I have this time to just, like, reflect and accept where I'm at, and just, like, just take everything in. And I feel so much more aware and, like, present in my life. Like, it feels like you have a purpose. Like, I've never really understood that much before, how much just having a little tiny life rely on you, that you brought into this world and that you're responsible for. It's a good feeling, but there's just a lot that comes with it. It's just big. It's just really big energy. And that's how I'm feeling about it. Like, I feel good and bad. I feel more good than bad. Like, I feel like, you know, I'll get through this, and meditating really does help. Like, that is the number one thing that I think will help get me through that, you know, the mental aspect of it. And also, a tip for you, and, you know, what you should do if you're feeling the same way, or if you're really feeling scared or anxious, is seek support, because you always need somebody to lean on. Like, you can't do everything by yourself, and it really helps to just talk about it. I don't know if that made sense, but, like, even here on YouTube, you can find a whole lot of support. And, you know, if you don't feel like you need to seek support from anybody, then, you know, just reflecting on yourself by, like, journaling and just, like, meditating, you know, on your thoughts, and just, like, clearing your mind and getting everything out will really help, I think. So that is my last tip, and that's all I really have to say about my first trimester update and some things that I think might help you out if you're in your first trimester. Thank you for watching and clicking on this video. It's not like I have like a big following, you know, or anything, but I like this kind of content and I think I'm gonna like making it. I'm super excited for my nursery tour and just like setting up all my nursery baby room stuff. Like I have so many ideas for that, and I have a lot of ideas for other videos too. If you have any suggestions, please leave them in the comment below, and consider subscribing if you want to see more of my content. And all my social medias will be in my description box below, and I will see you in the next one. Bye everybody.